first step is you're going to click here and you're going to open the Talavera tile template and you're going to download it. Okay, so you've downloaded it, and now what you're going to do, because you're on a Chromebook, is you're going to click here to open Photopea, and then you're going to do File, Open, and you're going to go to your downloads, and you're going to, it should be in the downloads of your Chromebook. You're going to open up Talavera template, and it will open in Photopea. Now I'm going to just use the magnifying glass to make it bigger, and you're going to see that you've got 3 layers. That's because you're going to be making 3 different designs. So I think by default your foreground color should be black. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the background, and I'm going to do Edit, Fill, and I'm going to fill the background with black. So I'm going to just click here where it says Fill, and I'm going to click black and then OK. So the background is now all black. So now I'm going to lock the background. I'm just going to put a lock on it, and I'm going to go to layer 1. And what I'm going to do is I'll hide the other 2 layers. So I'm just clicked into layer 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my foreground color. See this green? I'm going to change it. I'm going to make the foreground color white. Okay? So there we go. So I'm going to be drawing with white on black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the paintbrush, and when you click on the brush tool, this little tool appears. It's not visible when you click on any other tool. It only appears when you click on the brush tool, and this is the symmetry tool. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with a mandala design, and we're going to do 4 rays because we're doing Talavera tile designs, and we want to have our designs symmetrical 4 ways. So we're going to now go back to the brush tool, and you can see the brush is on 15, which is a good size, I think. And when I start at the corner, you're going to see that I'm able to make these white lines, and they duplicate, and you can make these very nice designs. So I'm going to now go, I'm going to hide this layer, and I'm going to click into layer 2 and unhide layer 2, and I'm going to go up to the symmetry tool, and I already did the mandala. Now I'm going to do radial symmetry, and again we'll do 4 rays. And again, I'm going to now make a different design. So I go back to the brush tool, and you can see it behaves slightly differently. And you can make some interesting designs that way. But again, don't make it too busy. You don't want it to look like a scribbly mess. So, I think that that's a little too much. So what you can do if you make too many lines is you can do Control Z, and that undoes your previous steps. So I'm going to just, I think I want to not have my lines be so busy. So I think that's kind of interesting. Okay, I like it. Now I'm going to hide this one. I'm going to go to layer 3 and unhide layer 3. I'm going to go to the symmetry tool, and we already did the radial, we did the mandala. Now we're going to go all the way up to the dual axis, okay? And we're going to again go back to our brush tool, and this time I think maybe I'll try starting in the middle and see what happens. And you can always try and make some double lines to see if you can, that creates spaces to color stuff in. That's kind of interesting too. Okay, so now those are my 3 different tile design, Talavera tile designs. So now let's talk about color. We're going to start coloring these in. So I'm going to go back here to the slide presentation, and the only colors that you're allowed to use are red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. Now you're limited to these colors, but you don't have to use all these colors, okay? So I'm going to go back here to Photopea, and oh, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to use what's called the magic wand to select various areas to color. So I have decided I'm going to pick this area to color in the top, and I want to also pick the bottom area, but if I pick the bottom area, it's going to deselect the top area. If you hold the shift key, it'll allow you to select multiple areas. So I'm going to select left, right, top, bottom, and I'm going to fill all these with green. So I'm going to go to my foreground color, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to pick a nice pretty green, and I'm going to hit OK. And then all I have to do is edit, fill, and I'm going to pick foreground, and that'll pick the foreground color. I hit OK, those areas will be green. And now I'm going to go and do, I'll do my magic wand again. I'm going to pick the 4 black stripes here, and I'm going to color them in yellow. So let me just go here to my foreground color. Let me pick a nice pretty yellow. Let me go all the way to the top here. Yep, there we go. That's the color I want. Edit, fill, foreground color, and okay, it's yellow. Now I think I want these to be a blue, so I'm going to go here. I'll pick a pretty blue. Okay, and I'll pick this. Hold down the shift key, pick this, pick this, pick this. Edit, fill, and we'll do foreground color and okay, right? And then these 4 will be red. Okay, so you see I didn't use orange, okay? So you're limited to those colors, but you do not have to use all those colors. So I got my red, okay. Edit, fill, foreground color, da-da. Select, deselect. Okay, and that is my Talavera design with all the colors in it. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be making 3 different designs. So I'm going to hide this one. I'm going to go to this one, and now I'll start coloring it in as well. So let me stop recording, and I'm going to just color it in. So in this case, I really don't like the green, and I want to undo it. I've decided that I really want to use another color instead. So I'm going to go here with my magic wand tool. I'll hit the shift key, and I have decided that I'm actually going to just go with the blue. But how do I match that blue again? So that's very easy. You go to the foreground color, and what you're going to do instead of trying to match the blue on here is you're going to hover your mouse over the blue. And you can just use, since you're in a Chromebook, you can just use your touch screen. You don't have to use your mouse pad. If I click here, it'll just automatically match the blue, okay? So I'm going to now do edit, fill, foreground color, and it will match the blue. And now I've decided that here and here are going to be yellow. So I go here, here's my yellow, okay. Here's my magic wand tool. Edit, fill, foreground color. All right, and now that I see the yellow there, I might change my mind and decide I want some other parts to be yellow. So let me just go here and then shift and go here. Edit, fill. So I may decide that I want the four corners to also be yellow. So let's select here with the wand, here with the wand, here with the wand, here with the wand, edit fill. All right, now I'm looking at the white and I'm not sure I'm loving the white, so let me go back and see what other colors I could use. I'm allowed to use green, so let me go back here and I'm going to select the white areas. Well, I'll select this white area. Okay, and I want a green, so I'm gonna go here. And I can just do select, deselect. And I'm not sure I love it. So if I want to undo it, all I have to do is Command Z and then Command Z again. It'll go back to being white. So once I've decided that I like my design, I'm now going to hide it. I'm going to click on the bottom layer and I'm going to finish real quick, and then I have to show you how to export these. Okay, so let's say I want red, but I want it to be the same red as before. I can actually go back to my previous layer, click on the foreground color, and it'll give me that red. But also, all the colors I recently used are down in swatches down here, so I can also use those. So I'm going to hide this. I'm going to go back here, and I think I'm going to pick some areas to be red. So let's see here, top, left, right, edit, fills. The idea is to make the design as symmetrical as possible. So now I'll do blue. So whatever you do, just make sure you do it, on all four sides. Now maybe yellow. What if I took the white part and made it yellow? Oh, I kind of like that. I like it a lot. Okay. Select, deselect, and then... Oh, that's cool. I like that. All right. So maybe what I want is to make the remaining parts white. So let me just go in here and start selecting. And see if I can create a simple design with just a few colors. I'm going to leave the middle alone for now and see what I can do here. So I'm holding down my shift key and selecting my various colors, edit, fill, and there's a drop down menu. I'm going to pick white. And that's pretty cool. And then I sort of got to decide what I want in the middle. And I think I might want, let's see, let me do green. Okay. Edit, fill. No, I don't want that. Edit, fill, instead of white, I want the foreground color, which is green. And you know what? I'd like it a little bit darker green, I think. Edit, fill. Okay. Select, deselect. That looks really cool. Reminds me of a flag. Okay, so now I need to export these. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna do File, Export. Let's see. File, export as, and we'll pick JPEG, but we're going to make the quality 100%. And instead of calling it Talavera template, we're going to call it Talavera 1. And we're going to hit save, and it should download. And then I'm going to hide this layer and unhide this layer. File, export as JPEG, and I'll call this Talavera 2. And I'll hit save. And then I'm going to hide this one, and I'll unhide the top one. File, export as JPEG, and I will call this one Talavera 3. No, 3. Okay, save. So this is what you turn in. These 3 JPEGs are what you turn in. And you can see if I go here to my Finder, under downloads, here they are. And here are a bunch of other ones I made earlier today. So this is the first one. There's another one. There's another one. Here's another one. And these are tiles I made earlier today as well. So that's what we're going to be doing today.